So let us see how exactly it works. So we go here onto the AWS Management Console, and first we will have to do the entire setup. All right. So for the entire setup, we will require VMware Workstation that you can download from internet free of cost. VMware Workstation Professional. I'm running Workstation 12, and I'm going to create a virtual machine right now, and I'm gonna initialize this virtual machine with ESXi server. ESXi6 server, which is a hypervisor that helps us building the further virtual machines. So I'm going to install this ESXi6 right now, and I'm going to allow 200 GBs from the hard drive storage, at least 200 GBs, so that my system can run smooth. And I say create the virtual machine. So it is creating a virtual machine. I'm going to power on the virtual machine. So ESXi server is getting ready right now. So I will say standard installer. So it is installing ESXi server right now. Okay, so it got loaded successfully. It's still in the process. All right, it asked me to hit enter to continue, and in order to accept the license, press F11 key. So I did that, and it's again asking me hit enter. It's asking me to choose a language, so I'm good with US default. It's asking me to set up the root password, so I will set up the root password and retype the password. So it will take a couple of minutes. Okay, so now it is asking me to press F11 key to install. So here I go. It is installing ESXi server. Okay, so it is installed now, and it is asking me to hit enter to reboot. So the server is rebooting. Just give me a minute, I will be right back. Okay, so the server is rebooted right now, and I can access this server using this IP address, that is 192.168.134.144. So in order to access this server, I'm using a software called VMware vSphere client. So just going to open that. Okay, now I'm going to input the IP address, and the IP address is 192.168.134.144. So it's already there. I will type in the username as root and password as the password that I set up and hit login. I will ignore the warning. Okay. So this is my virtual machine 192.168.134.144. Now I'm going to install one virtual appliance on it. Okay, so where will I get the virtual appliance? I will go to storage gateway on AWS console, and it says get started. So I'm dealing with volume gateway right now, and cache volumes. So I say next, and I'm dealing with ESXi server. So I will have to download an image for ESXi server, which is the virtual appliance. So I click on download image, and it's good 573 megabytes of image that I have already got on my computer. So I'm just going to use that. So I will say I will go into file and deploy the OEF template. So it's already there in the downloads folder, and I go on next. It will be thin provisioning. Okay, and I go next. So what is the difference between thin provisioning and thick provisioning? In thin provisioning, it takes the actual size as that of the disk, and in thick provisioning, it only takes the size which the virtual appliances. Okay, so that's the difference. I have got good 191 GBs space on my virtual storage, and I say finish. So it is installing the virtual appliance on my ESXi server right now. It will take 2 minutes. Meanwhile, any one of you have got any questions, please let me know. Just give me a minute. I'm stopping the screen share for a minute.
Hello, Dhira.
Yeah, tell me.
How vSphere client and the AWS storage gateway associate with each other?
How storage gateway and
The vSphere client, VMware vSphere client is associate each other, like deploying, AWS storage gateway.
hmm. They all are virtual environments, so
Mm-hmm.
they basically help in, yeah, just give me a minute. uh, all right, okay. So VMware and vSphere client, VMware is required to spin up the ESXi server. Now ESXi server is a hypervisor using which you can spin up the further virtual machine. Now
Yes.
AWS technology is in the cloud. However, this VMware technology is used for creating the on-prem virtual machines. Okay.
Yes.
So like I wanted to have my own data center on my laptop. So that's the reason I went ahead with the ESXi server,
Yes.
VMware, right? But whenever I have to spin up the virtual servers in the cloud, I can go ahead with AWS. Okay. So this storage gateway is currently deployed on the ESXi server right now. And all I will do is modify some settings. So I will go in edit settings. First of all, CPUs 4 are way too high. So I'm just going to make it 2 so that less consumption from my resources. I say okay, and few more settings here and there. I will go into options, and in options I will go in VMware tools, check this synchronize guest time with the host time and hit OK. One more modification that I'm going to perform right now is go to add, and I'm going to add the virtual hard drives. That one would be cache storage, and the other one would be upload buffer. So I'm good with 5 gigabytes of each one of them, and I add one more hard drive right now, the 5 GB one. Okay, so the two hard drives have been added, and I will go in SCSI controller and change the type to VMware Para Virtualization. All right, so after doing all these settings, what I will do is I will power on the virtual machine that I have created upon ESXi server. So it's getting started right now, the virtual machine. Okay, all right. So the machine is running. I go into the console and it's starting up right now. It's asking me for the login. So the login is SG, S for sugar, G for golf, SG user, and the password is sugar golf password. Okay. So one setting I'm going to do is I will hit 4 in order to perform system time management. So I say 4, and it's asking me to view and synchronize system time. So I will press 1, and there is some difference between the NT time, that is network transfer protocol, and the virtual machine time. So I'm just going to synchronize it right now. I say yes. Okay, that has been done. I come out of it, and this is a combination of control plus alt. So you tap, you are inside the virtual machine, and whenever you want to come out of virtual machine, press a combination of control plus alt. Okay. Now, this is one thing that I wanted to show.